ahead and just go for it. Okay, so let me share my screen so we can just hop right on to the slideshow. Perfect. All right, awesome. I want to play from beginning, from current slide. Okay, cool. Awesome, yay. Okay, so a few things I'm just going to go over really fast because I did not get a chance to respond to everyone via text from this previous week. So first things first, welcome to week 5. This is the last week that we'll be eating in such a deficit of calories. So pretty much if you think about it, the last week that we'll be staying with only one high GI serving of carbs before we start adding food back in. Melissa, I know you were sick, so you're just getting back into the swing of things. But this week is week 5, the last kind of, I guess you could say, crash course before we start adding food back in and monitoring our weight so we don't skyrocket once we just start and start eating everything in sight. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep these habits that we've learned, and hopefully have been able to develop some sustainable habits so that we know a little bit of balance moving forward and can maintain either the weight we're at or understand how to keep losing it at a maintainable, sustainable pace, 1 to 2 pounds a week, if you want to keep going with that. So just wanted to review some basics. If you're not at this point with water, your goal this week, like first and foremost, is to be getting in at least 3.5 to 4 32-ounce water bottles a day. So a few of you who I know struggle with water, your biggest goal this week is going to be that water intake. Water, water, water helps flush out all the toxins, helps bloating. A body that is hydrated will, once you step on that scale in the morning, read your weight to the most accurate, like decimal, if you will. Because if you're hydrated, you are your most accurate representation of your body weight. Because you're not holding on to toxins in your body, right? They're flushed out. So, kind of some takeaways: vegetables, nutrient dense. Those are what are classified as micros, right? We want to make sure we're eating a ton of those and our plates are filled with vegetables. This slide has a lot of words on it, so I'm going to go ahead and just direct your attention to the new words I added to this slide. So cortisol, high cortisol, and low cortisol. I just wanted to break this down so people could have a better understanding of how stress, high cortisol and or low cortisol, if it's too low, because it is a hormone, so we do need a good balance of it, helps keep all of our other hormones in check, affects your body if it's too high or too low. So high cortisol, also too low cortisol, will bring on your susceptibility to flu season, coughs, anything like that. So maintaining not only like keeping our bodies out of that like high anxiety, stress, high cortisol hormone level, it's not only going to help us, of course, lose weight because we're going to get more sleep, we're going to digest better, we're not going to have all these cravings, but it's also going to help us fight off all of the flus going around, especially if we have kids. So heightened cortisol levels, way more susceptible to catching anything because your immune system is just not up to par. So that was kind of what I just wanted to go over with all of that stress and anxiety and how it affects the body again. So I think it's always a good idea to review some great ways to help cope with stress, because everyone's like, okay, yeah, we know what stress is. Exercise, being outside. So the positive, once you exercise, those bring in the positive serotonin levels, right? So the good hormones, helps balance out any anxiety and nerves going on. and you're paying attention and you're giving yourself, whether it's 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour, you are putting in self-care and making it part of your routine. So those are just some ways to help manage stress so we don't get in to these really heightened cortisol levels. This is, Melissa, I thought about you actually when I was going through this slide, because you're probably one of the people that have worked. I mean, I don't know, I haven't talked to you about it, but I just assume from your background in health, thinking about wellness as a whole. I had a holistic health coach once, or about 2 years ago, and we started looking at this wheel that's every aspect of your life. And if you're feeling, you can like rate where you are based off of like your emotional fulfilledness, financial, social, spiritual, occupational, friends, social, and how fulfilled or not fulfilled you feel in that part of your life. And health and fitness fall into one of those like sections or overlapping circles of this wheel, if you will. And so paying attention to that overall, I'm not a holistic, I like to think I'm, part holistic health coach, but I am not like a certified holistic health coach. But finding those areas to be fulfilled in, or how can I be more fulfilled in each area of my life so I feel better as a whole person, almost like, okay, finding your purpose is really beneficial to your overall health. So I wanted to add this in here because I wanted to make a note that wellness and health isn't just about exercise and nutrition. It's about finding that well-roundedness in all areas of your life and making time for it. And that's something that has really benefited me in the past to dive deeper into. Okay, so for all of those that didn't get to see this last time, this is just a written out version of what we're looking at in terms of meals. So for this last week, if you have seen results on the scale, meaning you were someone who wanted to lose weight and that scale has gone down, I want you to keep with the meal plan you are doing. And that is reflected here on what we started last week, which is 1 high GI serving of carbs a day, which I put into the quote unquote third meal, which for most people is dinner. You can put that high GI carb serving as in your breakfast, if that's what you prefer, or in your lunch. And then of course, around your workout time. So 1 high GI carb serving a day, the rest of the meals filled with vegetables and other carbs that do not have such a high and sugary glycemic index. And so that's kind of what's right here on this slide. It's going to just be a little bit more of a description of, okay, what is a high GI carb and what counts for that meal versus, okay, what are the lower versions of carbs that don't have as much sugars and have as many grams of carbs in them that I could eat with my other meals of that day. I have a dog barking at me to be let in. So if you hear her, that's what it is. Okay, so if there's not any questions on this slide, this is, I believe, this is the slide I wanted to end on because this is just a review again of what a plate should look like, especially going into this last week. That vegetable portion, fill up half a plate. Volume is what we're working with to stay filled. The more vegetables you eat too, the more micronutrients you eat, and the more vitamins and minerals you would get in. Fruit, it says for dessert or after exercise. So if you're craving something at night, try to work yourself towards the berries if you can. If you're actually hungry though, add in more protein, right? So protein right here looks like 1/4 of the plate. If you are hungry, eat more. This starches section, this is for that 1, or if you are working out during the day, 2 high GI carb serving. And then of course, fats. We need fats as females to keep our hormones at the correct level so that they stay level and even with each other, so that doesn't throw us out of balance. We need them for pre and post menopause. Really important to keep moods in check so we don't have huge crazy mood swings all the time. Fats are very, very important for women. So just a little visual there. Ladies, I ran through that fast, but I wanted to make sure you just kind of got the information. So are there any questions with the materials or moving into this week? Anything at all? You guys are being quiet. I know there's not many of you, but okay, so if there's no questions, basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say pay attention to the Facebook group because I'm going to keep posting on there going into this last week, and then just keep pushing through because next week things are going to start to change and we're going to start to see how your body responds to adding in some more food. And Kathy, yes, we are adding in some more food. Okay, so we're gonna do it the healthy way so you don't just like skyrocket on a scale, but actually get you to eating enough calories to sustain your body weight or figuring out where that is. All right. Okay, that's the plan. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I hope you have a great night.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah. Bye.